Picture a quiet morning on a lush, sun-drenched farm. A farmer reaches into the vines, grabs a bright red tomato, and gives it a pull. Suddenly, the tomato opens its eyes and lets out a blood-curdling scream. Moments later, a police cruiser tears down the dirt road, sirens blaring, searching for whoever just called for help. Obviously, vegetables don't have faces, and they definitely don't call emergency services. But botanists have recently discovered that crops actually do emit loud distress noises when they are injured or harvested. This friction between our perception of a silent field and the recorded evidence of noise suggests that our senses are missing a massive part of the story happening right in front of us. We experience something psychologists call plant blindness. Humans tend to view the flora around them as a passive, inanimate backdrop to the much louder animal world, and that makes sense biologically. A tomato plant has no lungs to push air, no vocal cords to vibrate, and no mouth to shape sound. A vocalized scream is physically impossible. Because our human biology filters out anything that doesn't sound like us, we assume the farm is quiet. To understand what plants are actually doing behind our backs, we have to look closely at their internal plumbing. Let's see what happens when a plant panics. When heavy shears slice through a thick, water-filled stem, or when a crop faces severe dehydration during a drought, it undergoes extreme physical stress. This diagram shows the plant's vascular xylem working like microscopic pipes, drawing water upward. Under intense stress, these water columns violently fracture into trapped air bubbles. The bubbles rapidly collapse and pop, sending mechanical shockwaves radiating through the plant tissue. The distressed scream scientists recorded is exactly this: the violent mechanical failure of a plant's hydraulic system collapsing under pressure. A single dehydrated tomato plant can trigger dozens of these internal pops every hour, generating a steady barrage of noise. This line graph maps acoustic frequencies. The stressed plant's pops exist strictly in the ultrasonic range, glowing between the 20 and 100 kilohertz markers. A vertical cutoff line at 20 kilohertz shows the hard biological limit of human hearing. A stressed agricultural field is deafeningly loud, filled with the constant snapping of biological hydraulics. Our acoustic limitations just act as a permanent mute button to the chaos, which brings us back to our confused police officer. If human ears can't hear this agricultural alarm system, who in the ecosystem actually possesses the hardware to respond? Certain insect species tune directly into this exact frequency. A moth can detect these ultrasonic pops and will actively avoid laying its eggs on a dying, dehydrated host plant. Predatory mammals use the data too. Bats can intercept these acoustic emissions to pinpoint exactly where swarms of insects are hovering around weakened crops. The plant isn't crying out for a rescue. Its involuntary popping acts as a broadcast of open-source environmental data, actively directing the movement of the local food chain. Every farm and garden operates as an active, noisy communication network. Plants constantly react to physical trauma and broadcast their biological state to any species equipped with the right ears to listen. But despite emitting highly complex acoustic distress signals to the surrounding animal kingdom, a harvested tomato still has absolutely no defense against becoming ketchup. The invisible, ultrasonic reality of these plants proves that the natural mechanics of our world are simply stranger than fiction.